Last episode of Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, we learned about Zotrak, the first piercing spell in history created by the demon Qual, but since he was sealed for 80 years, humans had the time to learn about the spell and essentially just made it an ordinary offensive spell, and Frieren decided to murk him by his own spell, give him a taste of his own medicine, so that was very fun, and we will just have to see what this episode has in store for us. Full links are on Patreon, early access, and a YouTube membership. Other than that, let us get started. It's 28 years, so it's another year has passed. What is that, a grimoire or just a history book? Ah, Flamme. Grimoire is a fake. To Flamme are never real. Because she has memories with this beach? Mm-hmm. She's just like, ah, great. I've accepted this. God damn, dude, she's fucking dead. Oh, you know, you got something to do. Oh, it doesn't look like it's morning outside. Literally have to do everything for her. Gotta drag her over. She's like an old woman. But also Fern's like, come on now, we gotta fucking finish this shit. I wanna get out. Need some giant earmuffs for you? A very sloppy person. Yeah, you just kinda know this, huh? I just choose not to. You know, less of her mother, you're just you're a caretaker to her grandmother. Man, do they have to take this up plank by plank? Yeah, and they have a giant bonfire with it. New Year's festival. Is that fish stew? God damn, dude, like, where you guys put all those ashes? Like, I'm glad that all the ship parts is gone, but like, where you guys put all the ashes? I guess they just burn the ashes, huh? You can't even wake up in the morning. Yeah. That's impossible for you. I just need fucking logic, dude. You know, fall asleep when the sunrise comes. She's not interested in it, and that's why she wants to see it. To make sure, you know? Ah. Oh, there she goes. Fall asleep. You're gonna have to wake her up. Oh, you're the one who said it. I mean, if you can generate some water, you know, just splash water in her eyes. God, just seeing the sunset and shit. I just get really bad flashback to to YURU camp. Maybe you can learn from others on why it's beautiful, huh? It happens every day. Look at those people on the roof. What the? That's because you're smiling. Maybe that's why Himo met, huh? Literally. They go to heaven. Just two people's understanding, huh? Well, it's just a nice thought. I believe it should. So at least the dead get a good rest. More convenient that way. It's just easier on the mind, yeah? Oh, and he prays even to this day, huh? I'm here to hang out. That's what Qual said. The fuck? Well, actually, I also don't know how long dwarves live, huh? Mm. Yeah, and then he died. Ah, Flamme the legendary mage. It's been so long that a lot of his stuff are just fake. Well, I guess it's the biggest tree of them all. Fern's just in the back. I want to say something. Other people's time. Oh, grapes for him. Damn, dude, he ate all those. I just gotta take care of two people. Two old people. I felt sorry for you. Mm-hmm. Ah. Conversing with the dead. Ah. Fairy tales that stem from some truth, huh? Well, you know, you can also ask the long question of, are you in heaven? Or are you just in this ground? My master's hand. Is Flamme? Oh. You'll be dead. So you'll get to see it. Huh! Wow. She predicted this. Return to this place. Ah. Flamme got it ready, dude. 1,000 years ago. The land where souls rest. Oh! Oh, it's like Sovereign Guard? Research on souls forward. That's what Haita says. Kind of gives you some sort of hope. Oh. Giving her a quest, dude. Just like Haita. Oh, better get some warm clothes. She's having nightmares about the cold. Maybe you should go around and learn some warming magic. So she can talk to Aizen. Relatable. I've never had any other master. That statue of him sitting there posing. Oh. She's trying in her own ways. Mmm. They die in no time. 100 years, we're going to snap. They're like pets. Oh, but he certainly switched the topic. Consider that she's traveling with you, giving you birthday presents. Frieren's out here like, Flamme is an irresponsible master, but then here she is, learning exactly like how her master is. It'll be a mere 10-year adventure. But she's gonna see it in a whole different light. Okay. So we did learn a little bit about Flamme. Okay. But consider that she Flamme is her master, like she understands how, I mean, as the fucking opening says, right? As time goes on, it just wipes away the rest of history. Not the rest of history, but like the history from long ago. If people don't keep up the history and whatnot, you know? People forget about it, or in the end the history kind of end up changing. I believe this is like when this anime came out, 4 episodes came out. So like this is the last episode to the 4-episode release, which it's kind of like Frieren and Fern are just kind of going on their tiny little journey, and now that they've got this big quest from Aizen, that where she's now basically following the footsteps of the hero's party again, right? Going all the way back to Ende, going back to the Demon King's castle, going past it in order to go to I forgot what it is. It's I wrote it as Aureole. I have to go back and I have to write down what the heck that whole thing is. Anyways. We're gonna go right back to the center. Alright, so that was episode 4 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty good episode, you know? It's just more of the same thing that we've been seeing, but also here we have Aizen out here sending us on a 10-year journey. You know, he apologized to Fern ahead of time, like, look, you're gonna be a full-fledged adult by the end of this. In the first half, we've got Frieren coming to this beach and this old man asking. So, in the first part of this episode, we have Frieren and Fern coming here to help the town, the old man, to clean up this beach because, well, they have less people nowadays, and so people have been neglecting this beach, and it's, I mean, look at it. There's so many freaking shipwreck, goddamn! He gives her a grimoire, which is a book written by Flamme, the legendary mage. Fern saw that, and I assume she was going to say something like, oh, it's fake, but she's just like, oh, is this the only grimoire you have in your village? And he's like, yeah, like, okay. You know, we'll clean up this area for you. And so, as this old man walks up the stairs, goddamn, dude, he's getting his steps in. So, Fern tells Frieren, oh, this is fake, and so Frieren compliments her, like, oh, good girl, you've been studying like I've told you. She's finally taking her study seriously. after what she saw with Qual and everything. But as Frieren says, books attributed to Flamme are never real, it's just another poor imitation. She just knows that this isn't her master's handwriting. Well, as we learn, right, later on, that Flamme is her master, and Aizen says she is Flamme's best student. I do enjoy this part where Frieren's just like, yeah, I'm doing this for me. I'm not actually doing this to help them. It's for my own purposes. And Fern is just like, we're gonna be here for a while, aren't we? she's just giving up on, well, for the most part, on like letting Frieren, you know, just move on and stuff. You know, she's like, okay, this is what you want to do for your personal stuff, but like, also, we gotta get this shit done quick, alright? Because even Frieren, later on in the second half, right, she tells Aizen, like, yeah, I gotta make sure that this doesn't take too long. You know, I don't want it to span for like a year or something. 4 months, that's totally fine. But a whole year, Fern's gonna get mad at me, and she's very scary when she gets mad. Then we've got some sequences of Fern, the caretaker, to Frieren, the old lady out here. Fern's out here having to clean up her mess, having to wake her up, give her her breakfast, literally change her clothes, brush her hair and everything, and then she has to fucking drag her out. and she kind of make notice, you know? I've been thinking, are you actually a very sloppy person? Every morning I wake you up, feed you breakfast, and help you get dressed. I'm practically your mother. You're her maid, that's for sure. I do love Frieren being like a fucking kid when Fern says this. I can do that all by myself, but when Fern hits it back with, but then you'd sleep until noon. You know, Frieren? I think that's relatable for a lot of us. Waking up in the morning, ugh, disgusting. So they finished cleaning up the beach, and the old man asked, will you be joining us for the New Year's festival? Which also Fern was connecting that, like, oh, are you cleaning up this beach because of the New Year's festival? And Frieren decided, yeah, I'm gonna be joining. To which Fern's like, have you lost your mind? You waking up in the morning? You can't even wake up in the morning. What do you mean you're gonna wake up before the fucking sun rises just to see it? Impossible. Masaka. You're that desperate to see the sunrise, to which Frieren says, honestly, I'm not interested, which is why I want to see it for myself. Which, honestly, even though Fern is just like, I don't understand that, kind of makes sense to me, because I feel that sometimes too. So Frieren's idea of catching the sunrise is to stay up all night, but she ends up falling asleep, but I assume she's having a dream, or she's remembering this whole thing, right? With Himo asking, why didn't you come to the New Year's festival? And Frieren's just like, what's the problem? The rest of you got to go. It's just a sunrise. I doubt I'd enjoy it much. And Himo says, no, you would. Why? Because you're that kind of person. Damn, dude. He just sees right through her. I do love Fern is just out here having to lead her. Just like, why am I doing this? So they get to see the sunrise. And, you know, at least Fern is out here appreciating the sunrise. But, again, every time I see fucking sunrises, sunsets, whatever, I just get flashback to YURU camp, and I'm like, please, no. No. No more sunsets, please. No more watching the sunset, specifically, actually. It's certainly pretty, but it wasn't worth waking up early for. God, I feel that. But as she thinks, oh, Himo must have gotten me wrong. Right? Himo didn't understand me at all, so she's about to leave, but she sees Fern appreciating the the sunrise, telling her it's beautiful. Is it? It's just a sunrise. Yeah, but also, y'all just staring at the sun out here, goddamn. But you seem to be enjoying yourself a little. And so she says, that's because you're smiling. And so it finally clicked in Frieren's head. And she has a little smile on her, huh? And she says, I wouldn't have been able to see the sunrise if I'd been on my own. Of course not, after all, you can't get out of bed by yourself. So it's that idea of like, yeah, you know, the sunrise, it's whatever. But seeing the sunrise with your friends, that's a whole nother thing, you know? It's kind of like activities that you feel would be really good if you're with if you're with your loved ones, or if you're with your friends and whatnot. You know, it's that whole fucking cheesy thing in romance about like, oh, I've never just being with you, everything seems so new to me. Kind of like that old fucking cheesy thing. Again, it's an understandable thing, you know? Like, if I'm planning on going on a trip the next month, and my friends want to go all these, like, sightseeing places, and, like, I'm an indoor person. I'm like, look, I'm fine just being indoor, but, like, if they want to go out and see the sun— oh my god, I just realized, if there's the chance, I'm about to fucking go see a sunrise with friends. Oh, the YURU cap, it's hitting me. No. But I hope that same idea is for even where, like, I don't really care. I mean, I guess it's beautiful or whatever, but I don't really care too much for it. But maybe it might be a different experience with friends instead, you know, actually seeing the damn sun and all that. But, you know, it's also California, so, like, this sun's really fucking hitting me at full force out here. The sun's a deadly laser, dude. Like, I don't know. Anyways, heading off to the second half, before we see Aizen in the current time, here we have a flashback. Can't remember who asked whether these are his family, so he says his family was attacked by demons, which, you know, it's a reason on why he joined the heroes party in order to defeat the Demon King and all that. Haita goes to pray, and Aizen's like, why are you praying? Haita's like, well, you know. Well, before he says that, actually, is Aizen who says, people return to nothingness when they die. No, they go to heaven, he says. And so it's the two opposing side, right? Somebody who's religious and somebody who is not religious, agnostic or whatever. Until several thousand years ago, the commonly held belief was that there was no afterlife. But then religion just came about. Oh wow, who would have thought? And now there are people who are thinking about that there's the concept of heaven. Although it seems like they're not really talking about the concept of hell, but then again, the demons are over here. Maybe y'all are really living in hell, huh? Goddamn, I slurred that word so bad. Anyways. Dwarves value tradition. I'm skeptical about the idea of heaven myself, but since current magics can't absorb the souls of the dead, and so that kind of leads us on over to Aureole. Aureole, ravioli. But that'll end up leading us to that whole thing towards the end of this episode. So since we can't talk to the dead, its existence can't be proven or disproven. It's Schrodinger's heaven, I guess. I don't think it matters either way, says Himmel. You're right. I don't care if it exists or not. But even if it doesn't exist, I believe it should. Why? Says Aizen. Because it's more convenient that way. All those people doing their best life deserve something better than nothingness awaiting them. I prefer to think they get to live the good life in heaven. Aizen gets convinced by Haita, you know, so he decides that, and also Himmel, you know, that is certainly more convenient, so shall we pray, right? And so here's Aizen praying, and he prays all the way till his older age, you know? So, I like that. It's a very simple concept of religion, is that there is a heaven, and if you've lived a good life, you will go to heaven, and you will live the good life in heaven, instead of you've done all of these things in life, and now you're just going to fucking die, and there's absolutely nothing left, right? It's all just black after that, right? And it's, and obviously it makes the concept of death a little bit easier if you know that, oh, I have been a good person, and so when I die, I will go to God's kingdom, and he will accept me, and I will get to go to, you know, the club upstairs, the VIP club. I'm gonna get crunk up in heaven, yeah? Again, it's a very simple concept, and I really enjoy it. Obviously, there will be people who are, you know, who are much more atheist or agnostic, and they'll just be like, well, heaven doesn't really exist, and you should just accept the fact that you're just going to return to the earth, and that's basically it. Well, I mean, I don't know if they would say you return to the earth, because, like, I do think that you know, it's not just nothingness in life, nothingness after death. Because hopefully, your body will be fucking fertilizer for the goddamn earth, alright? Stop burying yourself in coffins. Give your body some use for the earth, alright? But the conversation between the hero's party and about this, you know, concept of heaven and all that, I really wish it was just that simple. I genuinely do, in, like, IRL. I wish people could just be like, okay, you know, maybe there is the concept of heaven, and you know, it's just more convenient that way, and we just end it with that, instead of people fucking fighting over it, and, you know, overall just fucking Christianity and Catholicism just being absolute fucking shitballs, honestly, like, fucking disgusting. But I just a little note on, like, me religiously. I mean, you may know this, that I have, like, the fucking Jesus cross on there, and I just want to make it known, because, like, it's not something I hide. I mean, you can literally see it, but I'm actually not a religious person. But I am a Jesus fan, alright? His speaking, his talks, you know, and the way that he lived his life, I very much agree with him and his words, you know, like, you know, many people have said it before, if Jesus was alive nowadays, people would consider him woke. I mean, he literally died because he was woke. And so, the teachings of, like, the church, you know, the Christian church, the Catholic church, and all that, I don't particularly agree, because I feel like they are truly all hypocrites, but the words of Jesus, he's a pretty cool guy. I was raised Catholic, and even though I was never really religious, I fell out of Catholicism towards the end of my high school years, because at that point I had realized that the Catholic Church really, all they really care about is getting your fucking money, and they don't pay any fucking taxes, because the whole point of the church not paying taxes is because they're supposed to use that money to help the fucking poor people, the people who are in need of help, and they're not fucking doing that, and so they just keep taking money, and where are they fucking taking these goddamn money to if they're not helping the people as they should? You know, as fucking Jesus should. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna stop ranting about religion before somebody start arguments. Keep things civil, right? There are good religious people out there, alright? And at the very least, it's convenient for me to believe that there are good religious people out there. So Frieren asks Aizen, is there anything you need help with? And Aizen's just like, I heard you ask Haita the same thing, and he died, so like, what's going on? And so, I do think that Aizen's out here a bit of a jokey guy, you know? Just in its own way. I do love that he says, like, I'm not on my deathbed yet, alright, Frieren? She's the fucking Grim Reaper. But we learned that Aizen and Haita wrote to each other. How nice. Volbasin. So they asked if you've been here, and she said a long time ago. A long time, she said, from Aizen. How long must that be? And so Fern is like, maybe in the prehistoric time, but she's like, not even I've lived that long ago. But then we learned that from her head, from Frieren's head, because I think she was thinking about it, she's just like, oh, 1,000 years ago when my master was still here. Like, oh my god. So Aizen is looking for the notes of Flamme, the legendary mage, and Frieren mentions that most of Flamme's writings are fake, but Haita has deduced the locations from records on Flamme left in the Holy City, and basically it has, he has pinpointed it here in Volbasin, which was a correct thing, because Frieren is like, yeah, this is where she was. I do love this little conversation that Frieren and Aizen are having, and then Fern is just in the back, like, should I say something? But also, she's listening like, oh my god, they're gonna have to go fucking find a fucking large tree in this forest? And she just starts pouting like, argh! But Frieren's like, yeah, Fern wouldn't like that, so try to finish quickly. So Frieren asks, why did you decide to look for Flamme's notes? And Aizen says, because I felt sorry for you. I felt sorry for you and Himmel. 30 years ago, when she said that she wished she'd gotten to know Himmel better, you should tell Himmel himself that. They say the notes of Flamme the Legendary Mage describes her conversing with the dead. So, if she knows how to do that, then Frieren should be able to converse to Himmel. That's just a fairy tale. Besides, I don't want to see him now. Why, you're just gonna cry? All magic started as fairy tales. Yep. And you don't want to know more about Himmel? That's why I talked it over with Haita. We were sure you had regrets, and we wanted to help you. So here they are, finally fighting this giant-ass tree. And there's this big barrier over it, and Frieren's just like, oh, this is my master's tree. Even after 1,000 years, I'm still dancing in the palm of my master's hand. Hey, you know, if you go to Aureole, Aureole, God, now I just want to say it, Areola. Ravioli. Ravioli. So it started as a tiny little sapling, but 1,000 years, it grew to a big-ass tree. How's that little sapling going to keep watch, Frieren says. Don't sell it short. So she puts her magic on it. Once it grow, it'll be protecting this place 1,000 years from now. Okay, so her house, right? You'll be dead by then, she says. But Flamme is like, yeah, but you won't be. I know you'll be back, Frieren. Someday, you'll make a terrible mistake and wish you'd gotten to know people better. Do you wish I knew you better? Are you being needy? No. When that happens, return to this place. And the tree was placed above her house. And then we have the little layover. God damn, dude, that tree just like grew its roots over the house and everything. Then I will help you. Okay. Well, I don't know about you, but she's a little full of herself, huh? She's just out here, Flamme, the legendary mage. God damn. So she opens up, and the door opens, and like immediately the page just flips right over to where Frieren needs to read, right, about the place of Aureole. So Flamme wrote in her diary that she arrived at the place the people of this world call heaven, which is interesting. And so she, again, the land where souls rest. So kind of like Sovereign Guard, except, you know, not for soldiers only, for warriors only, I mean. But many souls gather there, she says. And I spoke with friends who once fought alongside me. So here she is speaking to the dead. So I guess Himmel must be there, Haita must be there, and also Flamme must be there as well. And Flamme's just gonna be like, I knew you'd be here, Frieren. I don't know why, but even though I first thought of Sovereign Guard, I was also thinking about the Far Plains from Final Fantasy X. Definitely not because I've been playing Final Fantasy X and watching people play Final Fantasy X. It also is one of my favorite games. Anyways, but the Far Plains, at the very least, it's kind of like created by, I'm gonna say the Wisp at this point because I currently can't remember what the name of those little souls that flies around. But it's like created by those little wisps, but and like some people who aren't religious, aka the Albeds, basically say that these things just take your memory and just turn and just create an image of the person who was once dead, while others who follow the teachings of Yevon would believe that this is where the people go, you know, when they get ascending, when they get sent, they go to the far plane. And so I was kind of thinking about that, but you know, in the far planes they don't really fucking talk back to you. But then again, I don't know if Flamme says she talked, but like, did they talk back? But she did say this discovery of the century will propel research on souls forward. She says that, but like, research has not been done yet. I would probably presume, because as they say, as Frieren reads a little bit onwards, right? Where is this place? It's in the northern continent, Ende, which is where the Demon King's castle is. So, you know, I guess the demons are just fucking gatekeeping heaven. So after all of that, Eisen asks Fern, is Frieren a good master? And Fern is just like, you know, I don't really get her. You know, it really feels like she doesn't care about me, but then at the same time, she gives me birthday presents, and, you know, she feels very indifferent, but like, here she is going on this journey, you know, a little confusing. But Aizen hears about that, and he's just like, you know, that, and he flashbacks back to back to the star showers. Currently can't remember what it is. Him thinking about how he had once asked, like, hey, you should get an apprentice, you know, traveling is better when you have someone to talk to. And she's just over here like, it's a waste of time. Talking, ugh, even if I taught them, they'd die in no time. The humans are like, And so Aizen's like, Frieren, that's not how relationships work. But here she is, replying back, yes it is, that's how relationship works. My adventure with, adventures? That's how relationships. My adventure with you wasn't even 1/100th of my life, right? It was just a mere 10 years. You must understand that, Aizen. But Aizen does, I mean, Aizen understand that, but at the same time, right? He's the one who's keeping in contact with Haito, and I would presume he's also kept in contact with Himo as well. So, Aizen is just trying to get that through Frieren, but also having heard about what Fern was talking about, he tells Fern that she is a good master. And so, you know, give that bit of comfort to Fern at the very least, you know, like, even if Frieren is, like, making a tiny little effort, that's a big step for her, right? For her to actually wanting to care about someone, wanting to give a birthday present for this person, actually thinking about, you know, when you think about that, like, she's actually thinking about her birthday year by year, right? So she's actually trying to slow down her own timer. Right, and the way that Frieren's is like, I have to make sure that I don't spend too much time in this place for Fern, right? I don't want to be here for like 2-3 years or something for Fern, because she can't live as long as me, so she's being more attentive of other people's time instead of just being, in a sense, right, selfish and just going through time in her own needs instead of thinking about others. So I really enjoy that. Again, I appreciate that Aizen gives Fern that. The word has just slipped out of my mind. Comfort, assurance. There you go. But these four episodes are done. We are heading on to a bigger journey. Which is just going through the steps of the hero of the hero's journey, right? It take them 10 years, but who knows? It might take them a little bit less. But then again, you know, maybe demons are on the rise again, and they're also going to be entering demon territory. So who knows? By the way, I saw that Frieren is now completed, the manga, I mean. So I don't know if I think Season 2 is coming? I can't remember. I think it was announced. Can't remember. But if Season 2 were to finish, would that cover the rest of the manga, or would it need a Season 3? Let me know without any spoilers. Thanks. But it is nice to have a completed story, I will say. You know, better than a fucking story that goes on for fucking ever. But I hope it had a good ending. Don't tell me anything about it, alright? No spoilers. But, as I said, good episode. If I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. And that's it. Bye!